Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
Hello, listeners. Welcome to Business Innovators Radio. This is your host, Constant Taylor. Today, we have a very special guest on the show, and they're going to share some very powerful information with us. So, if you're looking to increase your internet marketing and sales effectiveness, then you've come to the right place. Our special guest today is Ford Saeks. Ford has been speaking professionally for over 25 years. The primary content that Ford speaks on is business growth innovation, business growth and success, and internet marketing and social media. Ford has spoken both nationally and internationally and is based out of Wichita, Kansas. Ford, that's quite a resume. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Thanks for having us. Now, what I'd like to do is I'd like to jump right in and ask you, what type of business are you in, and how do you help people with your business?
Well, I'm really in the business of helping people grow their business. So whether they're a franchise organization, a small business owner, or a corporation association, people really want four things. They either want to get more customers or better customers. They want to increase the average transaction so people spend more money with them, or they want to get increased referrals and repeat business. And then the last thing I do is help them leverage their resources. So, any business owner, and I've had so many different types of businesses in wholesale and retail and manufacturing. I've got patents and products I've invented and products that if we talked about, our listeners would probably even own. So I'm coming from street smarts experience and been there and done that, and I'm willing to share any expertise that you're looking for.
Okay, excellent. Now, how do you actually engage and develop your clientele? Is it mostly through leads, referrals, your website? How do you generate business for yourself?
Well, it really comes down to a system that I share with all my clients, which is message, market, method. So you need to know what your compelling message is, your value proposition. You need to know who your avatar or your main markets you're going after, and then you have to use the methods correctly. So in my business, when it comes to my speaking business, I speak primarily to franchise organizations, corporations, and associations that are looking for someone to come in and give them doable action steps that they can use to get more leads, shorten the sales cycle, and leverage their resources of their employees because they're all having trouble finding, attracting, and engaging and retaining top talent. So that's it for my speaking. Now, I have a company called Prime Concepts Group and primeconcepts.com where we're an integrated marketing agency. Well, the marketing I use for that is a little bit different. Even though I'm in Wichita, Kansas, most of my clients are all over the world. We work internationally. So I don't work on a lot of local marketing for that. I work on positioning myself through LinkedIn and through campaigns that I use on the internet to get the eyes and ears of CEOs, which then bring me into their company. So it really comes down to which is the best method. People say to me all the time, direct mail doesn't work, or telemarketing doesn't work, or LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Pinterest, Google+, Instagram, and whatever the newest one that's going to come out next week, Periscope, they all work. They're just communication tools, though.
Okay, excellent. So once you have engaged with the customer, you have analyzed their system and their methods and their results, what's the next step? Do you create an action, like you said, doable action plan to actually?
Yeah. So the first thing I would do is discovery. So we talk about a business and what are their goals? What are they trying to do? We take a look at their current marketing objectives. What are they doing with advertising and publicity? What are they doing with traditional and grassroots efforts? And what are they doing with internet and information marketing and inbound marketing? Is a buzzword right now, right? What are they doing to actually get clients and get customers, regardless of what type of business they are, retail, wholesale, or whatever their channel of distribution is. And then what we do is we look for gaps. We look at what they're currently doing and we score it, and then we look for opportunities that they may be missing, whether it's in pricing or how they're packaging their products or their delivery method or how they're actually reaching and what's the user or client experience like. And so many times, I've had people say, like, I work with community banks. And banks like to do two things, right? They want to increase core deposits so they get more money, they can lend it, or they want to increase loan demand so they can lend that money out and actually generate revenues for the bank. But it's amazing how many banks and bank CEOs and associations that I speak to that are banking, and I'm talking about bank marketing, where they don't even do the basics. They'll say, yeah, we're all about customer service. We're a community bank. We're fighting with the big boys. And then you call them up as a mystery shopper, and they don't answer the phone. It goes to voicemail. So there's a lot of disconnect. So the biggest way to answer that would be I look for gaps in what they're currently doing, and I capture lost revenue or lost opportunity that they're missing.
Okay, excellent. Could you share with us a real business case study of a company that was underutilizing their marketing sales resources where you actually helped them improve their revenue and results?
Certainly. I was speaking at Comcast, which is a billion-dollar corporation, of course, with a lot of entities. And the entity that I was working for was called Global Spectacor, and they run arenas all across the United States. And they had a large conference where they brought all their big hitters into the room, their general managers and their marketing directors in the room. And everybody in the room made over $150,000, if not up to $500,000. So these were people that made a decent income. I'm coming in for a keynote to help them with their business and their marketing. And no one was paying any attention. We were at a beautiful golf resort, and all they wanted to do was go play golf. The last thing they wanted to do was sit in a stuffy meeting room and listen to some speaker. So I started my presentation, and no one was paying attention. So I tapped on the microphone, and I said, hey, give me 10 minutes. If after 10 minutes I haven't shown you how I can create value, then we'll quit right now. You guys can go play golf. Well, everybody clapped and cheered. They all came and sat down. And the meeting planner looked at me, and I leaned over her, and I said, hey, I've already been paid, so, if they don't want to be here, that's fine. So what I did was I said, okay, show me who your best marketer in the room is. Because at that point, I was doing marketing makeovers. This is almost pre-internet. This is 2 years ago, 95, so we're talking a long time ago now.
Right.
But you used to ask me for a case study, so this is the first one that came to my mind. I've got several others. Right. But so what happened was, I said, who's the hot shot in the room? And the guy comes up to the front of the room. He says, my name is Steve. I said, okay, Steve, so you're the best marketer in the company. Yes, I'm the great guy. I said, okay, show me an example of what you're doing right now in your marketing. What are you marketing? So I used my 3-point message, my market, and my method. I said, okay, let's go through this system. What do you sell? He says, well, I'm responsible for increasing ticket sales for our arena, for concerts and ice-capades and Sesame Street Live and sporting events. And I said, okay, pick one. He says, okay, Sesame Street Live. I said, show me your advertisement. So he shows me this advertisement. It's a full-page newspaper ad for Sesame Street Live, and it says, let's be friends was the headline. And then it had a picture of Big Bird, and then it had the details of when the times and show times were. Okay. And I said, okay, Steve, you're a smart marketer. I said, how much did this cost you? Well, it was $70,000 every time that ran. And he had a frequency, so he had a little bit of a discount, but it was expensive. And I said, so Steve, you're spending $70,000. Your message is let's be friends. Who are you trying to send this message to, Steve? And all of a sudden the room was quiet. And he said, well, kids, of course. And I said, okay, Steve, let's play this out. You're spending $70,000 to send the message, let's be friends, to kids using the newspaper. And all of a sudden, nobody was talking. And I said, does that make any sense? Are kids reading the newspaper? I mean, really? Are they? And then I flipped it open and it happened to be the financial section. And I said, so Steve, let me get this right. You paid $70,000 to send let's be friends, picture a Big Bird, to kids using the newspaper in the financial section, and you're the best marketer in the room? You ought to be ashamed of yourself. So by this point, everybody's laughing. So I said, Steve, why do people take their kids to Sesame Street Live? He said, well, they do it because they get family time and memories. I said, okay, why don't they take their kids? Well, it's a pain in the butt and parking, and they're not sure if it's going to be a hassle. I said, all right, why don't you redo this advertisement? And since you already have the medium locked down, so you've already got the newspaper, so we have to leave that variable alone. All we can go back to is the market and the message. I said, let's change this to go to the parents, change the headline to quality family time in 2 hours or less, create lasting memories, change the photo, get rid of Big Bird, put a lifestyle picture on there, and they did it, and sales went up 30%.
Wow.
Now, I don't think that what I did was that amazing, but when you connect the right message to the right market using the right method, you can dramatically improve your results.
That was pretty powerful and impressive, if I do say so myself. And So you got the guy fired, is that right? You came in, he was...
Well, no. What happened was I ended up coming back 9 years in a row, speaking to all their different divisions. They own the 76ers. They own the Philadelphia Flyers. I spoke to all their general managers, and I became a hero in the company. But at the end of the day, I'm a one-trick pony. I look for markets. I look for messages. I make sure that the value proposition matches it, and that's what I do. So when I go in and speak to a corporation, like when I spoke at a franchise like Gold's Gym this year, Gold's Gym has had me back 4 years to speak to all of their franchisees and all their business owners, because their franchises like that are competing with their middle ground. Like there's all these Anytime Fitness and these cheap, low-cost, high-volume, buy $10 a month memberships for gyms. At Gold's Gym is a little bit more, and then they have the Bally's and Lifestyle. So they're kind of stuck in the middle. And how do you compete? If you're a franchisee, how do you compete in a market where you've got fierce competition from both sides? You've got pricing pressures and you've got market pressures. And I went in and showed them how they can actually compete in that market, be found, get referrals, manage their online reputation, get more customers, increase member retention, and really increase their profits. So that's what I do. So radio, shows like this that we're doing now, this is my marketing. So all these listeners, you need to think about how are you going to market? How are you going to reach new people? And doing interviews like this for me is just another variable of a message where if I deliver great value on this interview and people say, well, gosh, that guy's kind of smart. He's got some good ideas. Well, Google my name. As long as you spell it right, FORD-SAEKS, or go to Amazon. You can get my book on Amazon. You can find me online easily. Well, that interview leads to leads, which builds on my list and then increases product sales.
Great. Can you talk about your book and how they can pick that up?
Sure. The book is called Superpower. It's Superpower Success. It's available on Amazon. It's also available at superpowerbook.com, and that'll give you a link to where you can get it. You can also text the word Superpower to 33444, and you'll get some special bonuses. So again, you can text, grab your mobile phones, and just text the keyword Superpower, one word, to 33444. So you want to make it really easy for your listeners to get your bonuses.
Excellent. 33444. Now, what is the main premise of Superpower?
The main premise of Superpower is a personal and professional success book. It's not earth-shattering where you're going to, it's going to be, it's kind of like, when the movie The Secret came out, everybody, it got all this attention. Well, the only thing in The Secret, if you want to know the secret to The Secret, it was positive thinking, and what you think about, you attract. And that just saved you, 2 hours of your life.
Right.
My book, Superpower, is a book that helps me. It's basically my best business card. It's a great read. It's a quick read. It's a hardback book. It's good for executives and leaders and business owners. It's good for college kids if they're, graduating and they're trying to look at how they're going to frame their life. Anybody who wants to do more with less effort is really what it's about. Okay,
excellent. That's interesting that you have the title of that book. For years, I used to talk in terms of my skills and capabilities as my superpower, which was basically what is that thing that I do best. So that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, actually, the title of my book originally was Common Sense is a Superpower, because I'm known for taking complicated subjects and making them easy to understand. But when I went to the New York publishers, they were like, well, we just want to shorten it to Superpower. And I said, well, it kind of changes the context of the book. But, when they're giving you an advance, you do what the publisher does, and, I went with it. So,
absolutely.
But yeah, that's what it's about.
Excellent. Now, during our last 60 seconds, what message would you like to convey to the audience related to your business and how you can help them?
I guess it would really be, whether you're listening as a professional and you work for an organization, or you are the owner or you're responsible for revenue generating activities, I would say stop making it too hard. Profit hides a lot of mistakes. You can get a lot of resources online, but the reason you should pay for resources is you're going to save the trouble of listening to something or hearing something that isn't going to help you produce results. Okay, excellent.
Well, and if the people would like to get in contact with you and utilize your services, what's the best way to do that?
Best way is go to primeconcepts.com, primeconcepts.com, primeconcepts.com. Connect with me on social media. You can find me on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, basically anywhere online. And let me know what you're thinking, and let me know what you think about this interview. If you have any questions, connect with me on LinkedIn, and I'll be happy to answer the question.
Okay, Ford, thank you so much for coming on the show. That was fascinating information that you shared with our listeners.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.